Dear sir, be your life. The floor is yours.
Okay. Good morning, evening, and afternoon, everyone. Everyone joining from around the world. I'm Sahar and I'm from Sindh, Pakistan, a literature and linguistics student, and I'm passionate about public speaking, leadership, and creative expression. And I am a fellow of Women Ascension Community Outreach. Today, I'm thrilled to be part of this insightful global session. So let me first introduce you all to the Women Ascension organization. Women Ascension is a global initiative focused on empowering women and the youth through education, leadership, and mentorship. Operating primarily in virtual space, it connects individuals worldwide, offering opportunities for skill development, networking, and cross-cultural collaborations. The organization hosts webinars, workshops, and events to develop inclusive community where emerging leaders can grow and make an impact. Just a quick reminder for a smooth session, kindly keep your mic muted during the session. If you have any question, feel free to write them in the chat box or use the raise hand option or you can ask it at the end in the Q&A session. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you could lead, influence, or make a change but didn't have the title for it? Well, today's session is all about that. We are here to learn how to build the real influence without needing a position or a title. Now, it's an honor to introduce to our guest a woman who truly embodied his concept. Miss Mary Akua Ahenmah Dadzie is a respected HR professional and a career development coach from Ghana. She has helped countless professionals, job seekers, and entrepreneurs growing in their career with confidence and purpose, not just through titles but through skills, mindset, and impact. She is also a convener of the Career Impact Hour, where she shares practical insights to help people thrive in today's world of work. Let's give her a warm virtual welcome as she shares her experience and wisdom with us. Take notes, reflect deeply, and don't hesitate to engage. Miss Mary, the mic is yours.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Sahar. Thank you so much for that introduction. Let me use this opportunity to thank the leadership of Women Ascension for inviting me. I really appreciate that, and it's really a pleasure and an honor to be here to share my insights with all of us gathered here this morning, this afternoon, this evening, depending on where you are listening or watching us from. Okay, so before we go to what we have today or the topic for discussion, okay, I'm seeing some comments. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, I see your comment. Thank you so much. All right, so before we go for our session today, I want us to have a bit of discussion. So let me project a question I have for all of us. Then you can help me answer that. Okay. So like Mr. Taha mentioned, this is our topic for today. But before we go into details, I want all of us to have a bit of engagement. So that is my question to everyone listening, watching me right now. Can you be a leader without holding a formal position? can you be a leader without holding a formal position? So what is your take on that? I want to hear you from the comment section. I want to hear you from the comment section. I want to see what you think about that question. Can you be a leader without holding a formal position? Okay, I'll be reading comment. Oh, no. Okay. I want to see some comments. I want to see some comments. Okay, I'm saying yes. I'm saying of course. I'm saying absolutely. Yes, I'm saying it's possible. Right, right. Thank you all for that engagement. I appreciate that a lot. Okay, so quickly, let's go. So for a quick introduction, at every point in life or a situation will arise that will call for a leader. Okay, once we are still living, I think I'm writing on the screen, okay. Once we are still living, once we are doing other things, once we are working, once we are doing everything, situations will call for leadership. So I have two questions. Will you be able to spot that opportunity? And are you ready for such an opportunity? Those are my two questions because it's going to, our discussion is going to be centered on that. Okay, so there will be a situation or a point in life at your workplace, in the family, that you would need to prove that you're a leader. So when such an opportunity arises, are you going to see that opportunity? Okay, so to be a leader, you must build influence, you must build trust, you must build credibility. So the question here, we have an idea of the things that we want to build. So the question is, how do you build that influence? How do you build that trust? How do you build that credibility? Because that is what people want to see from you before they can trust you, that you are a leader, before they can trust you, that you can do A, B, C, D for them. And so they are giving you the nod. Okay, so from Robin Sharma, it says leadership is not by titles. It's about impact, influence, and inspiration. Robin is saying leadership is not about title, it's about impact, influence, and inspiration. That is what Ruben is saying. Now, from that few explanation, when we talk about influence, what is influence? Influence is the ability to affect the behaviors, the attitude, the decisions of people. Influence is having the ability to affect the behaviors, the attitudes, and the decisions of people. So when we say you have an influence or you are a leader, you should have an influence over that people. And that influence we are talking about here is you being able to affect their behaviors, whether positively or negatively. But in our topic of discussion, of course, it has to be a positive influence. So you must affect their behaviors positively, the attitudes and the decisions that they even make. And then when you come to authority, authority is the power an individual has based on their position. So because you are the CEO, because you are the marketing lead, because you are the HR lead, because of that seat you occupy, you have some sort of authority or some sort of power over the people. And so influence and authority are two different things, right? So what are the differences between influence and authority? So authority is position based, sorry, but influence is earned. How do you earn influence? You can only earn influence when you work for it. Influence, you have to work for influence. You have to earn it by your actions, by everything that you do. But authority is position based. Once you occupy that position, automatically you have that power, you have that authority. Now, the second difference between authority and influence is authority can be lost at any point in time. Once you get off that seat, you have lost that authority. Once you get off that seat, you have lost that power. But with influence, you can sustain it in your entire life. And mind you, even your children, your children's children can even benefit from the influence you had on people. So influence can be sustained as long as you are able to have that influence. So these are the two main differences of authority and then influence. Now, like I mentioned, the main aim for this topic is for us to learn how to build the influence. And I have quite a number of them, but the first one, how to build influence, trust, and credibility. If you're on this call and you are thinking, how do I build influence? How do I build authority? These are some few examples. If we talk about leading by example, if you're a leader or you want to be a leader who would be recognized by people, who will be trusted and believed by every other person, then you have to say what you wish for it to happen. If there is an attitude, if there is a behavior that you want to happen in the space in which you find yourself, whether at the workplace, whether in your home, whether in your church, in your mosques, everywhere, whatever behavior, whatever attitude that you want to see, then it has to start from you. Lead that example. Do it so that people will say that, yes, Miss Mary is doing it, so I have to do it. You don't even have to talk about it much because you are doing it. You are going to model that behavior for them. So you are going to be an example for them to watch and then live by that example. Now, the second one is to communicate transparently and honestly. If you are a leader or if you seek to be a leader, communication is very, very important. In as much as you want to relate with the people, in as much as you want the people to trust you and everything, one thing that you cannot take away from the box is communication. Now, like I said, communication is very important because though you have an idea of the things that you want to say, the things that you want to do, but how you tell them will determine whether they are going to accept it, whether they are going to follow you, or they will just make it slide. So, in as much as possible, you have to take communication very serious. And as you communicate, ensure that you are being transparent in all that, you are being honest in all that, because we are dealing with people, because you want to be trusted, you must build honesty. Tell them what it is and how it is. Don't go cutting corners. Be honest about every details. If you do that, they are going to put their trust in you because they know that you are not going to lie to them. You are not going to deceive them. You are not going to tell them it's a C when it's actually an A. So you have to communicate with them or to them, but do that transparently and then honestly. Now, the third one is to demonstrate competency. So you cannot say you are a leader who is probably leading a project or who wants people to trust him or her when you are not competent in anything that you are doing. Now, when we talk about the competency, it's for you to be exceptional at what you're doing. And how can you be exceptional? How can you be competent? You have to do. If you go to school and you are taught something, if you don't practice it, what happens is that you forget because you didn't put it into practice. So as a leader or somebody seeking to be a leader, as much as possible, Ensure that you demonstrate competency. Let the people believe you and believe that you are capable, and also trust you by what you do, because they have seen that you are capable through your competency, right? The next one is commitment. Commitment. Sometimes as humans, we get to say something and do the other. We say A and then sometimes we are doing the B. But if you want to build trust, if you want people to have trust in you, if you want to be a leader, what you have to do is to deliver on your commitment. Be committed to every single thing you say to people. Be committed to every single thing you say in the workplace. Be committed to every single thing you say to people, whether your family, whether your friends, in your community, wherever you find yourself. Once you say it, you have to be committed to that. And how can you do that? You can only do that when you take on initiatives and then deliver the results. Don't just take up initiatives and just do things anyhow. There's a saying that if it must be done, it must be done well. So as much as you are being committed, you have to ensure that you are delivering results so that those results can speak for you. Now, the fifth one is to build strong and good relationships with people. The fifth one is also very important. As much as we are living, you cannot live alone. Let me take us back to our old books, the Bible, the Quran, you know. So there was Adam, and then came Eve, and then came Cain and Abel. If relationships or people were not important, probably Adam would be living alone. Even the animals, regardless of your religion, we all know that it was not just a single animal. There were different animals that were created by God or by Allah. And so it means that as as you want to be a leader or as you want to progress, you cannot do it alone. That is why you need people. And before you can say that I have these people with me who can stand in for me, who believe that I am capable of doing this, then you have to build that relationship with them. People can be blessings to you depending on how you treat them. People can be blessings to you depending on how you portray yourself. And so build relationships with people and be intentional about it. Very important. Be intentional about your relationships. The relationship you build with people, be very, very intentional about it. Because like I mentioned, people are blessings. And for them to be a blessing in your life, it will depend on how you treated them. It will depend on how you made them feel. That is the most important thing. Now, with the sixth one is to build trust. Now, for you to be a good leader where people say that this leader is a very credible one and so I can trust this person, is to ensure that whatever you tell them, you are doing it. All right? Whatever you don't say you are going to do A and then you end up doing B or a C. People would know that you say one thing and then you are doing the other. So as much as possible, ensure that people have belief in you. There are sometimes that you go to places and then people, once you mention somebody's name, somebody may even pass a comment that, oh, as for this person, don't worry at all. Why is that so? Because the person, through his or her actions, has made the people to understand that you can trust me regardless of anything. And so as much as possible, if you want people to see the leader in you, if you want to lead people, trust is very important. Now, quickly, let's go to how to position yourself. for influence, with all the points that I have spoken about, how do you go about it? Because yes, those points have been shared, but how do you start? That is the most important thing. How do you start? Now, for you to start, or for you to get sort of a plan for you to start building your influence, the first one is to know who you are. So ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? That once you start asking yourself, sit down and start thinking, what are some of, in fact, let me not even, let me use simple English so that we would all understand. As you can see in the slide, it's talking about self-awareness. Sometimes people, regardless of their age, do not even know who they are. And knowing who you are is not about your name, where you live, your hometown, your family and all that. Self-awareness goes much deeper. So as an individual, do you know who you are? You cannot tell somebody that I am a leader or give me the nod to lead you when you yourself do not know who you are as a starting point. Let me take it again. I am saying that you cannot tell people that give me the nod to lead you when you yourself do not know who you are. Forgive me for saying this, but it's like two blind men. Two blind men cannot go to a place until was on, to be able to lead your family on, to be able to lead your friends on, to be able to lead your organization on. So who am I? Ask yourself that. Now, when you know and understand who you are, it will also help you to be very emotionally intelligent, because you know that when this and that happens, I am triggered. And so once you're emotionally triggered, you know what causes the trigger. And so you wouldn't even give it space for it to happen, to say or do things that people would even kind of regret of knowing you, or kind of regret of even making you a leader. So knowing who you are is very important. It will help you to be very emotionally intelligent. It will help you to understand yourself and to help people. So knowing who you are, first point, right? So the second one is what I know. Now, there is a saying that you cannot pour from an empty cup or an empty barrel. So for you to be a leader, what do you know? I am throwing the question back to all of us. As much as we all gathered here, we are trying to learn to develop ourselves. What do you know? What do you want to give to people? And that is continuous learning. You cannot say that you know ABCD when you have not learned. All right? So you must learn and be able to help people. You cannot tell people that you can do ABCD when you have no idea. Right? And as you can see in my slide, I am saying leaders are born. Yes, that is true. And then leaders can also be made. There's a school of thought for that. I believe some of us already know that, yes. But sometimes do not think that leaders are born. So once you are not born a leader, you cannot lead. No, leaders can be made. You can make yourself a leader. You can learn and develop yourself to be who you are. That is the most important thing. Nobody was born to be successful than the other. Nobody was born to be a follower whilst the other is a leader. If you want to be a leader, it can start from you by learning. If you want to be successful, it can start from you by learning. So yes, you can learn to be successful. You can learn to be a leader. So don't just think that leaders are born. Yes, you can make yourself to be a leader. Right. So the third one, okay. Okay. Abdul Karim, please can you mute it? Can you mute yourself? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. So the third point is what I do. What do you do? If you want to be a leader who can build influence, if you want to position yourself as a leader that people can go to, it starts from your actions and inactions. Yes, there is a saying that action speaks louder than words. You cannot tell me that you, in fact, let me bring it home. So, for example, two people are in a relationship, or let's say they are married, and you tell the person that I love you, but you do opposite. You do not do things that say that, yes, you love the person. How do you expect the person to believe that, yes, this person loves me? Because your actions are proving otherwise. So if you want people to believe you, or if you want to position yourself as a leader, start from your actions. Start from your actions and your inactions. Don't say A and do B. All right? Do not say A and do B. So in fact, let us start from your mindset. That is where everything starts from. Our mindset is it's some of the things that we think, and the more we think about it, that is what we do. Those are the things that bring about our actions and inactions. So as much as possible, have a mindset that you are going to stand by your words. You let your actions portray the leader that you want to be. Let your actions portray that you can't be trusted. Let your actions portray that you are a person of influence. If you position yourself that way, trust me, people are going to trust you, and you're going to build that credibility that you want. Now, the fourth one is what I know. Sorry, who I know. Now, who I know is your relationship. Like I explained earlier, people are blessings depending on how you see them. People are blessings depending on how you treat them. And so, as much as possible, build good relationships with people. There are times that there are so many stories where, because of the sort of networks people have built around them, they got opportunities where, yes, if they had gone on their own, those opportunities wouldn't have been open to them. And all those things came through people. And even sometimes in your job set, even if you want to do something, if you know somebody there, let's say you are going into an office where you want to get a tax done, because you have a sort of network or somebody that you have built a very good relationship with, you walk there and you don't even talk much. It is just done because of the relationship you have with people. That is how leadership is. If you want to be a leader, build good relationship with the people that you want to lead. If you want to be seen as an expert, or if you want people to trust you in your workplace, in your family, in your friends, in your environment, ensure that you are building a good relationship with them, because nobody builds relationship with the people that they think they are enemies. Enemies in quotes. Nobody has enemies here. So I am saying that because once people know that you have good relationship with them, that love is established. And as humans, we are attracted to where we feel loved. And that is how it works. So that is the fourth one, who I know. So as I go, please go on with me, be asking yourself those questions, because I want to know and to believe that after our session, you would have a plan. Even if you don't have all these strategies that I am mentioning, right after the session, you are going to put in ways in which you can start something and be a person of influence. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead now. The fifth one, which is the final one for this topic, is to have a purpose. Have a purpose. Purpose is a very broad topic, but I'm going to do it to summarize it. All right. So you cannot walk into a place, or you cannot be in the midst of people and tell them that give me the nod to lead you or to help you achieve this, when you yourself do not know the reason for your being. What is your purpose in life? What is the purpose for which you want to get that leadership position? Now, let me, because I mentioned position, do not think that it is about the seat you occupy. No. From our introductory aspect, I mentioned that leadership is not about the position. And here we are talking about you building influence. So if you want to build influence, have purpose. And have a purpose that you can be able to communicate with people, that those people would come in as per what you have shared with them to support you and see this purpose being fulfilled. All right. So if you want to be a person of influence, have a purpose. Have a purpose. Nobody can pour from an empty cup. Nobody can pour from an empty cup. You cannot say you are a person of influence when, in actual fact, you don't even know your purpose in life. You cannot tell people that you are a person of influence when you do not know what you want to do, when you do not have a plan that you have set for yourself, when you don't even have an idea of what you want to be or who you want to become. So as much as possible, the fifth point, know your purpose, understand your purpose, and people would come in to support you, because once you have a purpose, once you understand your purpose, you'll be able to position yourself as a person of influence. And nobody wants to deassociate themselves with a person who is um not of influence, you know. So as much as possible, have a purpose and position yourself. That will help you to position yourself as a person of influence. Now, these are some few summaries of the key points that I have shared. So this is just like an advice. So the first one is leadership is about the impact you made. And yes, it can be seen from all the things that we have shared earlier. So it is not about the position you occupy. It is not about what you have been told to do. It is about the impact that you made with everything that you do, everything that you have been given to do, everywhere you find yourself, in your workplaces, in your friends, in your family, in anywhere you find yourself. It's all about impact, because people will always remember you for the impact that you make. All right. The second one is influence. Influence is greater than authority, yes, and that can be seen from the explanation I gave with regards to the difference between influence and then authority. Like I mentioned, influence can extend beyond a number of years. When you build influence, even for yourself, your children and your children's children can even benefit from that influence. So influence is greater than authority. With authority, once you are no more on that seat, once you are no more the CEO, once you are no more the director, once you are no more the whoever, you are going to lose that authority, because yes, you are just like, any other person, because you are no more on that seat. So build influence, not authority. The third one is actions are always greater than positions. And I mentioned that action speaks louder than words. So do it for people to see. Don't tell us, do it for us to see and believe that, yes, this is what you can do. The fourth one, the image you create in the minds of people matters a lot. Now, the image here is sort of like personal branding. If you are able to strategize and then put in all these things that we have mentioned, you are going to create an image for people. And this image is something that people are going to remember you for. In fact, when we talk about personal branding, all right, it is what people say about you. Even in your absence or in your, well, sometimes people may not be able to tell you the truth to your face, you know. Sometimes people are not straightforward like that. But personal branding is what people say about you, whether in your presence or in your absence. So create that image for them, create that person of influence for them. All right. The fifth and the final one is anyone can lead if only they take on initiatives. Anyone can lead if only they take on initiatives. So, like I said earlier, you being a person of influence should cut across wherever you find yourself. If you find yourself in a space where you can take up initiative, you see something going wrong, and then you know and you believe that you are capable of fixing this particular thing, take on that initiative. Do not wait to be told before you do it, or do not wait for the thing to get very messy or to get totally destroyed before you start talking about it and, trying to fix it here and there and all that. But take on that initiative. Once you take on that initiative, you are going to build that influence. People are going to trust you, and then you're going to build credibility. So in conclusion, I am going to end with a quote from Lawyer White. It says, "The world is changed by your example, not by your opinion. The world is changed by your example, not by your opinion." So, as we are gathered here, wherever you are listening from, I am speaking from Ghana, wherever you are watching or listening from, if you want to change the world in which you find yourself or the space in which you find yourself, do it by example, not by your opinion. Don't go about saying it when you haven't even taken that action. So do it by you leading, taking that initiative, taking that example, not just talking about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to me. If there is any question, I would love to take it. But let me quickly hand over to Miss Sahar. Miss Sahar, over to you. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Miss,
so everyone, you can drop your questions in the chat box. We will answer that. Okay, Miss Tatsy, can I read that for you? Can I read the
yes,
questions for
please go
you?
ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so Kamal is asking how to set example for the world.
Say again.
How to set the example for the world.
For the world, okay. So how do you set an example for the world? Right. So for you to set an example for the world or wherever you find yourself, what you have to do is let it start from you. So for example, if you are in a space like I mentioned, and you have seen that per your analysis or per anything that you are doing, you have seen that there's a particular thing that you can do. Take up that initiative. Do it, and then once you start doing it, trust me, you are going to get people to come in and support what you are doing to help you to solve that issue. So if you want to set an example, you have to do it. Let us start from you. Take that first step before you can say that you have set an example for people. All right, thank you. I hope I was able to answer you.
Okay, the second question is from Khushi Sharma. She is asking, how can you shift from demanding respect to earn it through trust and consistency?
Repeat the question again.
How can you shift from demanding respect to earn it through the trust and consistency?
Right, right. Okay. So for you to shift from demanding respect to earning is through your actions and your inactions. Now, regardless of whatever you are doing, let's not even think that you are occupying a position. If you are in a space, all right, you are in a space, and then you want people to trust you, then you have to be committed to every single word that comes out from your mouth or from your lips. And so, if you are able to properly, do take all the actions and then the initiatives, and then if you say A, you are going to do A and not do B. If you say you are going to do this, you are not changing your mind to do the other aspect. You are going to earn it because people have seen it and you are not even telling them. So you are going to earn that trust, that credibility by your actions. If you demand it, what will happen is that people are just going to give it to you because you demanded it. And that is going to create problems for you in the future. So earn it by your actions and how you relate with them. Thank you. That's what I would say.
Okay, the another question from Khushi Sharma is, what role does self-reflection play in shaping a leader's mindset?
Right. Okay. So the self-reflection is basically on the first point I spoke about, which is knowing who you are. Now, if you are able to sit down and to know that you are this person, you know who you are in terms of everything, in terms of your emotions, in terms of your personality, in terms of what you have to do, and all those things. Once you sit down, you'll be able to reflect on yourself. So you sit down and you think about a problem to solve, or you think about how to build that influence. It is good that self-reflection you have done will help you make informed decisions. It will help you to make informed decisions because you are not just doing it from any idea, but it's coming from your thoughts, something that you sat down, probably like from a database. Let me even put it that way, from a database. And so once you know who you are, with that understanding, it is going to be like a platform for you to sit down and do that self-reflection. And that self-reflection will help you to make informed decisions. Thank you, Miss Sahar.
Okay, so another question is from Ongla. She's asking, can a president or the republic could be a leader and influencer at the same time, or just a leader by his position? How can we measure his impact?
Okay. So for somebody like that, somebody can be a leader and at the same time influence. The person can be a leader and also influence somebody. And there's the other aspect where somebody can be a leader and have just an authority, but not being able to influence the people. Now, if the person is sort of like a politician, all right? And the person is not a person of influence, people are going to give that respect to the person because of the position the person occupies. However, should that person lose that seat or lose that position, that is where you are really going to see whether or not the person had an influence over the people. But if you're a leader and then as a leader, you are going to have the authority, of course, and then you are a person of influence. Regardless of whether you are on that seat or not, people are still going to trust you. People are still going to be available for you. People are still going to be there for you because aside you having that position, you have also built credibility. All right. So yes, there's a way where somebody can be a leader with no influence, and then there is the other side where somebody can be a leader with influence, which of course I will advise that as a leader, have that authority as a leader and also be influential. Thank you.
Okay, so Miss Tuba Khan is asking, is that okay if your influence changes one's life or holds someone's mind, that he or she only sees everything from your eyes?
Say that again, repeat that question.
Miss Tuba is asking that, is it okay if your influence changes one's life or holds someone's mind, that he or she only sees everything from your eyes?
Okay, so in fact, sincerely, what happens is that sometimes when you have influence over people, when you talk about something, they don't even make research probably about it or to think about it for a second time. But because it is coming from you, they have trusted it. Whether you were saying the truth, whether you are not being truthful about it, they won't even take um the time to even think twice about it. It happens. But the most important thing is for you to build that influence. Yes. And even as a leader, because you are a leader, you are going to let people learn. And it is not for you to have influence over their thinking. No, that is not for you to do. But because of your influence, they are going to help you to achieve a specific goal, whether it's a collective goal or an organizational goal or whatever goal it may be. People are going to help you to solve it. So it is not about you influencing their thought or how they see things or how they think about things, but it is about they coming in to support you because they trust that you are credible enough. And then you have built that influence and they believe that if they should follow you, you are going to make that thing happen. And for them to see that, yes, we said that we are going to achieve this particular goal by the end of this time. And then, yes, indeed, because of the leadership of Miss Sahar or Miss Tamina, we have been able to do it. That is the main focus or the most important thing. All right. Thank you.
Okay, so Bilal is asking, how can we keep ourselves motivated and encouraged as a leader despite of difficult circumstances or hardships?
Okay. So, as a leader, if you want to stay motivated, in fact, nobody thrives in a community where there is no love. Nobody thrives in a community where there's always chaos here and there. But as a leader, what you can do for yourself is to ensure that you have built such a community. And like I mentioned, whatever you do, whatever behavior or action you do, that is a behavior you are modeling for people to also repeat. And so, as a leader, for you to stay motivated, or for you to have such a community, let us start from you. If you want to be loved, first start loving people. If you want to be supported, first start supporting people. That is how best people can come in. In fact, like I said during the presentation, people are always attracted to places that they know that they feel and see love coming from there. That is human nature. And so if you want to build such a community, let it come from you. That is why if you're a leader, what you say is very important. What you do, your actions is very important, because what you say would inform your people or your followers what to do, and what you say will tell them whether they should go ahead to follow you or whether they should still go ahead to help you achieve that goal. So your actions and then the things that you say is very important, because that is the baseline for where people are going to see you as a person of influence and keep following you. Mr. Mina,
Okay, Mr. Harim is asking how to become passionate, and because a lot of things are distracting us, like social media, etc.
I'm listening. Hello.
Okay, let me repeat again. Mr. Harim is asking how to become passionate because a lot of things are distracting us, like social media, etc.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Miss Mary, can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello,
You
I,
can.
okay.
Okay, dear sir, go on.
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello. Okay, let me
Yes,
repeat
I
the
can hear you.
question from Tehari. How to become the passionate because a lot of things are distracting us, like social media.
Yeah. Okay, so as a leader, for you to be compassionate, yes, there are so many noise in quotes happening around us. But it's like let's go to the wildlife. You know, when animal has a target, regardless of whatever that is happening around, there is still a target to be achieved. So now let's move it back to humans, or where we are. Yes, there are so many noise happening around us, but if you have a target in mind, do not let that distract you. Do not allow that to distract you. So, in as much as the social media things, sometimes family, it is not just about social media, family, friends, even work. One person, you have to do this, you have to do that. And all these things are what I call noise in quotes, all right? Because there are so many distractions. But if there is a target or an aim, regardless of whatever that is happening, you know that you must still achieve that target. And so do not pay attention to the noise, but pay attention to the target. Do not pay attention to the noise, but pay attention to the target. So if you want to be compassionate, yes, there are things that are happening around us. There are a lot of things that are happening around us. But what is your target? If you shift your target to the things that are happening around us, that will be the end, because you would even be confused. But if you know that you have a target to achieve, regardless of anything that is happening, you will still pay attention to your target. So thank you.
Okay, just two more questions from YouTube Live. Should everyone being in the leadership character must be recognized as a leader?
I doubt I got the question.
Should everyone being in the leadership characters must be recognized as a leader?
Leadership characters. Okay. If I understand the question, does the person mean being in a leadership position? Is it? Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Okay, right.
Yes, we
So
can.
from yes, so from the beginning, I mentioned that you can be in a position having the authority because of the position that you occupy. But when we talk about a leader is somebody who knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way, as John Maxwell said. So if you say you're a leader, do you know the way? Are you doing what you say? And are you inspiring people? Those are the basis. Are you impacting the lives of your followers or your people? Those are the factors that we will see and know that you're a leader. So if you are in that position, if you are in any leadership position, all right, that would give you authority. That is giving you power. But if you are not able to inspire people, if you are not able to impact the lives of people, if you are not able to 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 say as you to do as you say, then something is missing over there. And that thing is you not being a leader of influence, but you are a leader as per the position you occupy. And mind you, that position is time bound because once you are off that seat, that is the end of it. Nobody is going to see you as the leader because they accorded you that respect in quotes, or they saw you as a leader because of you on that seat. But once you are off that seat, that is the end. Now, that is why you must be a leader of influence. That one, it doesn't matter whether you are in a seat or you are not a seat, or you were on a seat and you are no more on that seat. You are still going to live by that. You are still going to enjoy that benefit. So ensure you are being a leader of influence and not a leader by position. Thank you.
Okay, so this will be our last question from Rashidat. He's asking that there are instances as a leader where you meet in subordination every step of the way. How can you balance professionalism, firmness at the same time without coming across as heartless or dominant?
Okay. So with that question, at every point in time, in fact, because you are a leader of influence or you're trying to be a leader of influence, does not mean that at every point in time you should be how you want people to, know you. Every situation will call for how you should react towards it. Every situation should call or tell you how you should react. And then if you say you want to be professional, in terms of somebody being to your subordinate or somebody in subordination, you know, if there's a need for you to show love, you must show love at that point. If there is the need for you to let the person understand how the rules are, you must let the person understand how the rules are. That is how it should work. So every situation should tell you how you should react towards that situation. And like I mentioned, people are going to trust you for your actions and your inactions. So you do not also want to come across as a leader who takes anything. If that happens, you're also going to lose a bit of respect, from people who would take you for granted. Because at a point where you should be serious about your plan, you should be serious about your purpose, and somebody is trying to mess up the plan for you or your target for you, and you are still not bringing the person to, for the rules to apply, or you are still not letting the person, you are just laughing about it. Others, you think it's okay or it's fine, but others may also not take you to be very serious. So every situation should inform you how you should react towards that situation. So that's what I would say about that question. Thank you.
Okay, so Miss Khushi Sharma has something to ask, then we will move toward our closing. Miss
Right.
Khushi, are you here, Miss Khushi?
Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, I
Am I
can hear
audible?
you.
Yes.
Hello. So first of all, thank you so much, ma'am, for this amazing session. I learned a lot. So my question is that, do you believe that true influence it came from the power you hold over others, or is it more about the freedom and space you create for others to grow, to develop, and to find their own voice? Or can a leader be truly inspiring and have a lasting impact by empowering those around them rather than by just by asserting control over them? Hello.
Miss Miss Sarah, can you read repeat what she said? There was so much noise, I doubt I heard everything. Hello?
Miss Khushi, can you please repeat that because
Am
there
I
was
audible?
yes,
Yeah,
now
it's
you are.
better.
So my question is like, do you believe that true influence came from the power you hold over others, or is it more about the freedom and space you create for others to grow, to develop, and to find their own voice? Or can a leader be truly inspiring and have a lasting impact by empowering those around them rather than just by asserting control over the colleagues?
Okay. So influence is not about you having control over your colleagues. It is about you having some sort of influence over their thinking. And from the beginning of the session, I mentioned that you having a positive influence over some of the decisions that they make. And what are some of these decisions? What are some of these factors we are talking about? It's for them, that influence is just for them um, to say that yes, this man or this woman is the one that we believe and we trust, that once he or she leads us, we can be able to achieve this purpose, or we can be able to achieve that goal. That is the influence we are talking about. But it is not for you to negatively influence their lives whatsoever. So if we are talking about you having influence in people's life, it's for you having influence positively for that particular goal that we are seeking to achieve, or for you influencing their lives, for them to know that yes, this person is somebody that we can trust because the person is very credible. All right. So in summary, that is what I can say about your question, Ms. Kushi.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so thank you so much, Miss Mary, for such a
Ma'am,
wonderful
I
session.
also have a question.
Okay, you can ask.
Can I ask? Ma'am, what
Yes, you can
if
ask.
we have to differentiate about a leader and an influencer from one quality, what that can be, and how can we classify them as separate?
Okay, so if we talk about a leader and then an influencer, there are two things here. When we say somebody is an influencer, it cuts across. The person can negatively influence you, and then the person can also positively influence you. And the person being an influencer sometimes may not even have a purpose, all right? But when we say somebody is a leader, it goes beyond you being an influencer. So as a leader, you know that there are some do's and don'ts because you are dealing with people. As a leader, you know that there are people that are looking up to you because of your actions and inactions. As a leader, you know that whether you are in a position or you are not in a position, people are still looking up to you. But when you come to an influencer, that person is just influencing people, whether positively or negatively, with their opinions and then their actions. And that person may not even have people really looking at him or her, as in they're looking up to him or her. All right. And so that influencer can just do anything. And maybe what happens is that sometimes, because the person is just an influencer, people are just going to support you because they see you to be in that light. But when we say you're a leader who is very influential or an influential leader, first of all, you being a leader in itself, there are some do's and don'ts. There are things that you can do, there are things that you can say and cannot say. There are things that you can do and cannot do. So that alone, adding it to you being a leader who is an influencer, you know that anything that you do is going to affect one person, two people, or a group of people. So you are very careful. But the influencer does not work that way. And this influencer, sometimes the people we see on social media, trying to build their personal brands. They have built it to a point, and so people employ them to influence their brands for them here and there. Those people are just doing their work. People are looking up to them because of what they do. And those people are open to all other things that happens on social media. But as a leader who is an influential leader, yours is very different. So a leader and then an influencer are two different things. However, if you're a leader who is an influential leader, that is the best and the most important one that you should have. Thank you.
Okay, so let's take this question as the last one. Ms. Daniela is asking about how can a leader manage conflicts?
Okay, so conflict management is a very broad topic, but let me quickly summarize this. There are so many ways that you can manage conflict, but how you manage the conflict will tell if people should trust you to manage or to resolve the conflict. Should it arise in the near future or should it arise tomorrow? So if you want to manage conflict, let the process or the steps for which that conflict is being resolved or being managed, let it be transparent and then let it be communicated to the people. You do not want people to just be saying things or grapevine, or just be making assumptions about you in the company or wherever. So if you want to manage or you want to resolve conflict, there are a lot of ways that you can manage the conflict, but how you manage the conflict is where the trust will come in. Yes, there are so many ways to manage the conflict, but if you don't manage it properly for people to trust and to believe you, next time when the conflict arises, they will not even tell you. Probably by the time you will hear, or by the time they will tell you, then it's too late. So it is always about how you manage it, which is the most important one. So yes, conflict will arise as a leader and you have to, of course, manage and to resolve it. But how you manage it should be of importance to you as a leader. Thank you.
Okay, amazing. Thank you, Miss Mary, for such a wonderful and eye-opening session. You have shown us that we don't need a title to lead. We need a vision, self-awareness, consistency, and the most important thing, courage. And to all attendees, thank you for being here. Let's take this what we have learned today and apply it to our circles, teams, and lives. Keep growing, keep showing up, and the most important thing, keep influencing with purpose. This is your moderator, Sahar Sahito, signing off with gratitude. So stay connected with Women Ascension. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Miss Mary.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Miss Mary. Thank you, Sahar, and thank you everyone for joining us.